In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the churches which are located in Jerusalem, the Holy Land. So we have Church of the Holy Sepulchre, we have Church of Mary Magdalene, Paternoster, Chapel of the Ascension, Church of the Sepulchre of Saint Mary, Church of the Flagellation, Church of the Condemnation and Imposition of the Cross, the Garden Tomb, right, Mount Zion. Okay. Set on Mount Zion, a hill outside the old city walls. Many important gospel events took place. The Last Supper, coming of the Holy Spirit on the disciples, known as the Pentecost Christians. Acts 2 1 through 13, two events believed to have taken place on the holy site of Cenacle. Also home to several important churches, including the Church of St. Peter and Gallicantu, constructed at the home of the high priest Caiaphas, and the Church of the Domitian, which commemorates the falling asleep of the Virgin Mary on Mount Zion. The church name suggests. Christian Quarter. 40 Christian holy sites. Church of the Holy Sepulchre most important. 14 Stations of the Cross. Frescoes of Queen Sheba visiting Jerusalem at the Ethiopian Monastery. Lutheran Church of the Redeemer, Protestant Christ Church. Alright. Church of St. John the Baptist, 5th century. Headquarters of the Knights Hospitaliers. Indian Crusaders were cared for during the 1099 siege of Jerusalem. Knights, after their recovery and remained in Jerusalem, dedicated themselves to the military defense of Jerusalem, welcoming Holy Land pilgrims. Although not regularly visited by pilgrims, the church is worth the effort to see it, since it's the oldest church in Jerusalem and the original hospital of St. John, which the Knights Hospitallers were named. Church of All Nations, also known as the Basilica of Agony. Jesus prayed before his arrest. 12 different nations contributed to the construction of the church, thus the name the Church of All Nations. They are recognized in glass ceiling decorations and mosaics. Don't miss the remains of the 4th century and Crusader churches which preceded the current structure. Chapel of the Ascension and Church of the Domitian Abbey. Virgin Mary. Room of the Last Supper and the tomb of King David. Hagia Maria's son Mary. So where others had died. So we have Holy Sepulchre, Church of Mary, Mary Magdalene, of the Sepulchre, and Saint John. And since I just found out that the Church of Saint John is the oldest one, well, read more about that. Ein Karim. This one belongs to Franciscan order, where Saint John the Baptist is believed to have been born 1113, 1621, 75, 1939. Is a Catholic church in Ein Karim, Jerusalem, that belongs to the Franciscan order. It was built at the site where Saint John the Baptist is believed to have been born. 1941-42, the Franciscans excavated the area west of the church and monastery. Here they discovered graves, rock-cut chambers, wine presses, and small chapels with mosaic tiling. The southern rock-cut chamber contains ceramic datable to a period stretching from approximately the 1st century BC till 70 AD, an interval that includes the presumed lifetime of Zechariah, Elizabeth, and John. The community living here has been dated by the archaeological findings back to the Roman, Byzantine, and early Muslim periods. Most of the current church structure probably dates back to the 11th century, but the lower courses possibly dating to the Byzantine period, 4th to 7th century. Okay, Greek Orthodox Church of St. John the Baptist, Jerusalem. The Church of St. John the Baptist is a small Greek Orthodox church in the Murstern area of the Christian quarter of Jerusalem. In its current form, most of the above-ground church dates to the 11th century and the crypt to the late Roman or Byzantine period, between 324 and 500. First structure, north-south oriented trefoil building, built sometime in the 4th to 6th century and served for unknown purposes, was damaged at the Persian conquest of Jerusalem in 614 and then extensively modified. The source can be interpreted to mean that it was restored during the 7th century by John the Almoner, Patriarch of Alexandria. Medieval period. By the 11th century, the ancient structure had sunk to at least 3 meters beneath street level, with its doors and windows blocked, and served as a storage place for goods and water. During this century, an organization of Amalfite merchants settled in Jerusalem and acquired the southwest corner of the Adriatic Forum, where they established a pilgrim hospice, complete with hospital and a church. The new church was erected above the ancient structure, which became its basement and dictated the triapsed layout of the entire church. This church was tended to by Benedictine monks. In 1099, Crusader knights injured during the siege of Jerusalem were treated at the hospital and after recovering started here what was to become the Order of Knights of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, named after the church, also known as the Knights Hospitaller. After the capture of Jerusalem by Saladin in 1187, the basement was apparently filled with debris. Ottoman period. At the end of the 15th century, the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem acquired the church and most probably transformed the basement into a chapel, which, according to excavator Jean-Baptiste Humbert of the École Biblique, might well constitute the first time that the structure was used for occultic purpose. During the 16th century, the church was used for a short period as a mosque, but was soon recovered by the Greek Orthodox, who in 1660 built a large pilgrim hospice next to it. In the 19th century, the crypt was cleared out, and an impressive reliquary was brought to light from the masonry of the altar.